Hello, this is Vulturefire, and today's video is going to be an S5 draft because we've been talking about them in the Discord. So, there's some pretty good things to start with. I think I'm going to play Nayema. See how Nayema draft goes. I was in the middle of actually a Salon S5 draft, but I wasn't recording it, so I actually have a save file copied now that's like in area 3, so that's nifty. But yeah, gonna try and do Nayema. Very good chance that this video ends up being, well, honestly, depending on how it goes, like it could be, 45 minutes long and it's all very one, or it could be 45 minutes long and it's a loss to the A1 mid boss, because that's just kind of how S5 is. With S5 being the shrine with 5 idols enabled, when noting this in Discord, we use like D4, depth 4, S5, shrine with 5 idols. And the reason we use S instead of I is because if you are writing it out, I5 looks like 15. So that's kind of confusing. So yeah. Definitely do a quick play. I think I'm going to do draft because it seems like fun. The reason you do these is because draft and quick play, if you have idols enabled, get extra upgrades at the start of the run, which can be very useful because for when you have 5+ idols enabled, you have 3. If you have so if you have 1 to 3 idols enabled, the difficulties the game is intended to be played at, you have 1 idol active at the mid boss. If you have 4 idols enabled, you still only will have 2 idols per area, but you'll have 2 idols active. Both the idols will be active at both mid bosses. And then once you go to S5, you have 3 idols at both mid bosses, and then S6 you have still 3, and then S7 you have 4. So because the mid boss has 3 idols enabled, that makes it a substantially harder fight, because instead of being at plus 20% from idol bonuses, it is at plus 60%. On top of that, you have more idle effects you have to deal with. You have more idle global passives to deal with, and it's just generally a much harder time. And normally, you don't have to deal with you aren't forced into a multi-idol fight until the end boss, and you have at least 1 epic and an upgrade by then. But the only way to access, but even with hybrid mode, you won't get an upgrade until after the mid boss, unless you're playing quick play or draft, and that makes it, in some ways, easier to do S5 with quick play draft. Sure, original 5. So, I'm not really sure on areas. One of the big things is cleanse is important, and it can be hard to get cleanse, especially if White Flame isn't active in the latter 2 areas. I think we're going to want to manipulate this actually to ensure that White Flame is active in more areas, because without White Flame, that's going to be one of our ways to get access to cleanse. Okay. And so I think we're going to go this route. Shadowbone Dragon is going to be a pretty good check from all. I am on Vanilla Midrera, Adverse Conquest. Conquest is kind of the fight that we need to be prepped for. Nayema generally has an okay-ish time with it because she has access to Sunbolt, which gives her a good way to zap Conquest, but you're very much kind of at the mercy of which idols do decide to be active in that fight. Lots of idol combos that can make any of these 3 fights kind of a nightmare. Like we go like Hunt, Cruelty, Hunger, I think would be kind of like the hardest combo, in my opinion. And Hunger just being active does make Conquest harder, because that means that Conquest has overhealing. Give me a second. Okay, had to briefly do a thing, but hopefully whatever I was saying, I had finished the thought. And I think we are ready to get started. Kind of realized that I'm in a pretty explanatory mood right now. One thing to note when dealing with draft, we have a number of factors to consider. One of them is I shouldn't have Cruelty A1 is absolutely a beat. We can force out an Arcane Evolution. That's very important, because one of the things we need, there are a variety of things that we need in order to have a chance at beating depth 4 with this many idols enabled, especially in draft mode. One of them is access to cleanse. This is one of the best cleanse options. Especially going to Minted Mushroom, we need a lot of cleanse, potentially. And ideally, we need the ability to do a good amount of damage. Another thing we want is some way to deal with trash cards. We want access to transform. That could end up being tricky to find. See, Moonshield is okay. I don't think Reflect is worth it. You don't want to speculate on the other one. Secret Cache is fine. Struggle Genius can be good, but I'm not sure we can make it work. Precarious Rod is good. Draw. Resonating Blast requires a lot of support. I don't know that we want to rely on getting. Predict is pretty good mana. Crumbling Defense is pretty good defense. We already have a good shield card. Just leaning towards the Predict a little bit, I think. Rick said he can set up some stuff for Nayema. I think we take that because having a Mana Boosting with Source is very good. We definitely want the defensive field because that'll be another cleanse source. New Moon is good. I need to figure out what I'm going to do for damage. That's a tough source. Okay, Frozen Solid lets us get rid of trash, which is very important. I really would like a Read the Skies or a Read the Skies, or potentially even a Read the Skies. Aftershock Plus is not enough shocks. Patient Flame's not the worst, but we need an Incan Ritual to go with it, which we don't have. Occult Ritual is a win condition. We're kind of out of options. Kind of out of time to find an option, rather. I don't like Swamp Spirit. Because we're like, we had that one, we had several drafts that were just like, whatever. And we had like the one key draft where we had Frozen Solid up against Incandescent Ritual, and we really wanted both of them. And we couldn't get both. This is Shield. Do we just need the other Shield card? Probably at this point. Well, Swamp Spirit opens up an option. We just don't have any support. And it's not really a Nayema thing. Let's take Field Barrier. Alright, that's pretty good. Extra shield gained is generally strong. So, Frozen Solid Plus is very good. Secret Cache Plus makes this just consistently 2 treasures, which I think is actually probably good. I'm probably going to be pretty reliant on that. I think we want to call Ritual Plus as well. As far as cuts go, we don't really have the spells for Runic Study. I think we may rely on Secret Cache as our whatever source. Without ways to set up Absorb Demise, I think it's pretty bad. And then I think it's probably the last cut is either Field Barrier or Patient Flame. Patient Flame technically can be set up by Sunstance, but it's a bit underwhelming. I'm also not a huge fan of Predict, but I think we got the Field Barrier. And we're just gonna... So we have to go here because we do need that. The Arcane Ablution. Let's see. I'm gonna ice this. I don't love playing this New Moon out, but I think, especially with everything coming in, getting that set up is worth it. Now we're going to need to have mana to support Secret Cache. It's also worth noting, if we hit 0, we draw a card, which is relevant with Hunt being a thing. Alright, so we need access to mana by drawing cards, which is not bad. Probably should have tried to get a Sunbolt out there, which I wasn't thinking. Kind of funny drawing that when we were already in Sunstance. Okay, so the question is, actually several questions. doing that. That's very good, obviously, even without the ability to freeze. And now we get mana boost source. And this is why we need access to cleanse. We have some cleanse from Death Field, but until we upgrade it, it's not good at that. I think we actually want to freeze that. And then should be able to kill that, I hope. Then, even if this isn't lethal, it will hopefully be a decent amount of damage. Right, this will take us through Sun Stance, which is relevant because it means that this will be turned on. But I kind of want to just be able to go to... Actually, no. All I need to do here is wait, because now it's on fire, so it'll burn, so we at least can get the kill off of whatever. It's not gonna freeze. Damage. But could be worse. Let's fight one down. Okay. We are re-rolling, we're taking Arcana Pollution. We need that easier access to cleanse, although like Pocket Stand is also very, very good, and I wish that I could have afforded to consider other things, but with that coming up, I don't think we can. I kind of look at mana, but I don't think we can afford to. Especially because like we're pretty reliant on this Skull Ritual right now. I think if we're gonna cut any mana, it's probably Predict. Predict or other mana, but we can't afford to cut mana yet, which is the thing we want to do. We can get more max mana. That's middling value. Just stay front, gather energy. Alright, so here's the moment, here's the big choice, right? This fight kills us. Like, this fight is just brutal. This fight can also be brutal, but I think we have a better chance at it. Because the thing with this fight is, like, cruelty already makes this fight... Like, this fight is already painful with 3 items active. It just does so much damage. And, like, even with the cleanse we have, it's not enough. And like sometimes like the synergistic weather, but I think it's still easier overall. But we'll see if I end up being wrong about that. Kind of a toss-up there which one we wanted to ice because both those were nuisances. Okay. Take a little bit of damage here. Should be fine. I think that 2 turns in a row is pretty nice for this early in the run. We're in a kind of awkward position where we're stuck exploding if we want to get rid of this. But I don't think we need to do that because we're where we're at right now. that out of hand so it wasn't causing problems. Yeah, I would love like a raid this guy or similar. Oops. I'm trying to wait to see if that ends up on top. It did not. And we do not have the wits we need. And then we explode, start next turn. We do not have the buffs for that. Was that one or not? This gives us +4 mana. I think like this gives us just one more buff to the mighty. I think we are playing that. Yeah, that's not gonna work right now. Do that. So I think we aren't gonna have another turn. Probably we're only gonna have one more turn. Because then we can hopefully Occult Ritual close out the fight. Yeah, we've lost a decent amount of health, but we get through it. Vengeful Restoration is tempting. Does give us a spell. We don't have any ways to hit our own health is the thing. But yeah, we're gonna be bleeding out health a lot. The problem is like we're gonna be infinite frail here. And this is not good when you're frail. We could do a lot of heavy lifting between here and there. The other option is Shielding Bolt, which we're gonna take that and hope we can make it work. In particular, it might help this fight. Okay, ice that. Yeah. Cruelty is part of why Frail is so easy to end up just spammed with. So one note here is that because of how this works, I get to keep this. You're dead, which is nice. One less problem to deal with. Mana is absolutely our big concern here. Arcane. Because yeah, Arcane just killed. Essence Sap is pretty good. Command Lightning can also be good, but I don't want to rely on it right now. I think Essence Sap does more for us in the short term. Especially with our mana issues. Pays for itself effectively. Now I can Starfall into a new moon, which not the most useful thing. Drawing into the new moon though is a little better. Just because then we have it and it'll flip. Fortunately we do have to deal with getting that. Okay, but set up that so it doesn't. Pretty good. So I can freeze, but it's not good to do that. And it pushes me over the edge. I think my best hope here is that we just don't get violently bodied here. Yeah, because I was pretty sure we were getting, that was more frenzy coming up. I think that has to be what happens. Even if I would love to have gotten an Arcane Detonation out there. Just loves wailing on us. See, this is what I mean, like, you just have all these idols active and it's just a problem. So we draw into, we don't have fire up on them, so. We'd love to get that up, but we can't. Oh, but we don't have. We just have to do this and pray. We probably die here because it just decided to turbo stack Frenzy, and we never had a window to actually get rid of it. Okay, well. We didn't die, but we still could. Yeah, I think we just did not have the mana that we needed to have a shot at this. I was like, I don't really want to freeze that. Because like freezing this turn doesn't do a ton for us, but I kind of have to. I don't really want to moon stance this turn, but I don't think I had a better option. That is not enough. I guess I could have drawn 4 cards, but I don't think that does anything. Problem is that we can't freeze with that, and we need to. we're hoping to what? Get. So getting tough here. I don't think it's enough. Just give a shield and stuff. It did. But not quite enough. Alright. Yeah, S5 draft is not easy. We had a lot of pieces that we needed, but I didn't focus mana enough, and that was kind of where it fell apart, I think. We're gonna try that again. I also really wanted like a read. Like we were missing. I say it was the mana, but I think the other major issue is that I really did need another payoff besides the occult ritual, because the big mana problem was like we had a occult ritual that we had to play. So I really don't like corruption plus cruelty. Okay, let's see if we can avoid cruelty A1. See where that puts us. Okay, so you have cruelty A3. Tenacity, dread. Cruelty, dread can be absolutely a nightmare, but you know, not really a surprise. So Crystal Dragon does drop a really good card, but I think these other planes, like if you miss on Broodmother, the other mid bosses here can be pretty iffy. Giant Lore Blossoms can be just nightmarish is the thing. So where I'm at right now is Ramparts generally I think has harder in normal fights. It means we don't have the chance at Arcane Evolution. And it means that, but we will have an easier end boss. But the mid bosses are much harder, I think. I think like for all the forest mid boss like killed us last run, it is very difficult. I think they're still easier than the other option. All right, let's go. A decent chance that this is an hour-long video of me just like losing to the A1 mid boss twice. All right, Solar Amp enables a lot of stuff. We just have to find spells to go with it. That is not the spell that goes with it. Icy Revelry is very good for mana. Let me talk real quick where we're at on. There's another chance to get Arcane Evolution before mid-boss. Means not getting double event. Also means dodging this fight though. Because the other option is to go up this route. We hit here, we get like Mystic Renewal. You have to struggle bust through that fight. Burn that bridge when we get to it. Fireball technically is like okay, but I don't think it's good enough to justify it. And like, there's no way we can afford it. I think Icy Revelry is probably the pickup because it's just good mana, and we need good mana. On Nayema, well, we have Emptiness active, which makes Arcane Focus better. Emptiness makes Float Infusion worse. Let me just take Patient Focus. This is terrible. This is okay, but underwhelming. Predict is okay, but not my favorite. That's Cleanse. I guess it was guaranteed mana. I was going to say, like, we are way over high on mana. This is technically Transform, but it's really awkward Transform. But if it's the option we have, it's the option we have. It does create an Astral Line, which lets us change stances, which could be worth it. And it actually works really well with Solar Amp, so... Spell Jolt's okay. It's not amazing. Probably gets cut, but it's okay. Gamblers is okay. Kind of risky, but better than the other options here, I think. I do love me a Creative Outburst. This guy's also very, very good on Nayema, though. Even more flexible than Outburst. This is a really tough choice. How do we go between like choices where I don't really care about any of them? Or like Spell Jolt is my best choice, and choices like the, or like the Assistant Strike choice, where it's like the other two cards are just like not very good at all. And we have this choice where it's like, I want both of these. These guys are more likely to be offered again because it is a Nayema card. I'll take the Read This guys though. I think it is generally stronger. Big fan of Heroic Vigor. I'm also a big fan of Visions, but I think less so into Emptiness. This, I think, lets us take Gather Power, which would be kind of nice. It's just like powerful Psychic. I am very happy to see Pocket Sand. Very happy to see this go, the Arcane Amulet going into that one jar. This upgrade, I think, may be worth it. Just because it makes that so much better. So, let's think about removals. I think we keep Spell Jolt for now. I think Assistant Strike goes. I think. Is our mana good enough to cut Arcane Focus? Give me a second to do some math. 13 times 0.4. So that's plus 3 mana basically. I just don't like cutting mana this early, and I think Spell Jolt's a little risky. I don't need it, I think. And then, yeah, it really might just be Arcane Focus. What's Arcane Focus plus? 55%, please hold. 3 times 0.55. The thing is, like, oh, but you know why we cut the Arcane Focus? It's because we could pick up Arcane Amulet, which makes it worse. Okay, there's my justification for that. Ice Revelry Plus is pretty good. Burning Prison Plus is pretty good. Natural Insight Plus is a little sketchy. I like this because I think we want to be able to get it out. I think upgrading both of these as our other two upgrades makes sense. Oh, for some reason I thought we'd already... Oh, because this is the other one where I just like... I want that extra growth. It's just not a good growth engine otherwise. And yeah, I think we just go here and we'll restart and take an alternate route if we can't get through this. Okay. We don't have any buffs, so I can't use this on whatever usefully. So we're just gonna go. Could go toughness here. I think I just want to do Solar Flare actually. We don't have the mana boost, so we have no way to get the mana boost. So, when you hit 0 and bounce off 0, forgot about Fortress. In my head, I was going to have enough damage here. I think I'm fine being in Sunstance next turn. Explode. Despite our... We are still tough at least. Yeah, I kind of forgot about Fortress fucking up our ability to actually get damage out of Celestial. damage on it is 17, but that is not how much damage it's actually going to do. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's just straight up turns into a non-temporary. That's something I need to keep in mind. So we can fill our deck with Read the Skies if we're not careful. So I don't want to change stance. I think I kind of am stuck. Oh, I can change stance with that. The problem is that this makes upgraded. The reason that's a problem is it means that I couldn't do the whatchamacallit that I wanted. Start of turn because I was thinking about getting vulnerable from this and that messing up my damage reduction. Getting blown up is actually pretty annoying. I've got a plan. Swap and swap. It doesn't actually help as much as I was wanting, but like 90% Read the Skies plus by volume. But we need to kill a thing. Oh, right, next change stances here. And do what? Comes the question. And then freeze myself just for fun. Question is, do I want to be in moon stance when I do it? Yeah, let's be in star stance next turn. Why not? Well, honestly, if we can get out of this fight, that's already something, considering this is a whatever fight. Have I played one of these before? Yes, I have. Which means that there is a Celestial Junction to find. Alright, here's my cleanse. Let's do this and see what we find. Alright, I guess that should have been expected. Oh, I was hoping to get that. Oh, I guess I could. But drawing into those isn't super valuable to me. Question is, what stance do I want to be in next turn? Is the answer just moon stance again? No, I think I do want moon stance. I swear we were getting closer to an end. It just doesn't look like it. So now I have this in hand. Alright, forgot about opportunist. You're at least dead now. Unfortunately, alright, nope, no luck. I was hoping to get stuff that would do a thing for me, but unfortunately we are stuck exploding again. And now lots of stuff gets transferred over. We're just kind of having a time, aren't we? Can't get that to 20 damage. Yeah, once again at this awkward point where I just can't do anything except to take damage from whatever. I really love like a pocket shield. I really thought that was lethal. Okay, well, we at least made it out of fight 1 without dying. I don't know that Arcane just is doing stuff for us, but I don't know that careful marksman, careful aim is either. Careful aim could set up stuff later. Kind of think we need the extra shield though, so Arcane Aegis it is. Kind of tempted to cut that because of the other thing, but yeah, I think because of this I do cut Read This Guys, so that might be a mistake. After all that time spent debating about Read This Guys, and then ended up cutting it because I forgot that whatever creates them. We don't actually have any strikes, do we? We do not. This evasion could be very, very useful. And we can force it, so happy to see that. I think at this point that upgrade point is very good. Check real quick. Because we're currently at 3 base mana. Or no, we're at 4, and this bumps it to 6. This upgrade bumps it to 6 base, which is quite a lot. The option is this, which makes it substantially more reliable. This is the advantage of making the second half of it free, which is very good as well. I think we just put the extra mana for now. we get extra status decay? No. Yeah, give us a decent amount. Get hit, which is unfortunate. So I could double that. I won't actually do double damage because of things. It does give weak too. Kind of nice. Love to stop bleeding out. I'm just going to turn that into... Oh, right, that creates a thing I can transform. So hard to not just do this and dome that out of existence. Go. We got a little bit of healing out there. We get that without even needing to spend on it, although taking that over Source of Secretion was possibly a mistake. Source of Secretion is very, very good with Solar Amp. But I think the evasion might be necessary to get out of this fight, but on the other hand, it's possible that we did need the other thing to get out of the fight as well. So. Not a fan of that. Pretty horrendous turn one for us, all told. Doesn't do anything for us. The problem is, like, we can't get to the mana boost that we need. So we're gonna just die and then eat. Yeah. Yeah, getting all of that powerful stacked on turn one was not good for us. And God, the fucking purity as well. Which means that we can't attempt to freeze it. So we're going to need to do that. So that's just not enough mana, that's a problem. Yeah, I think you're just dead because it just stacked crazy. Yeah. I did say at the beginning of this there was a decent chance that it ended up being just like we died to mid-boss twice. And sure enough, we died mid-boss twice. I think that's going to be it for this video. I will see you next time. Probably going to... I'm not sure what I'm going to do next time. Figure it out then. Until then, toodles.